Basically, Girls Group is going to be a girls group podcast, and it's going to be very diverse. We got influencers from all different platforms, and I think it's going to be really fun because we're going to bring any topic to the table, unfiltered opinions, nothing's off limits, and also we want to build women up and empower women, and that's like one of the main focuses we have.
There's a lot of rumors I woke up to saying that Devin got me fired from this thing when I'm her producer, and I actually hand chose Devin to join the cast. So with that being said, I am not fired, and we don't know what's going to be happening with the podcast right now.
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to have you here. It's time to talk about Janelle Evans because she got fired from a podcast that she literally said that she started and was promoting heavily this week, and it's a hot mess. So Janelle Evans is not a fan favorite, and obviously she has a history with her gross husband David and the dog discussing the horrible incident that happened to Nugget and his ongoing disgusting Instagram. I mean, just go look at it. I'm not even going to tell you about it. And people don't like her. They don't like that she has done really terrible things, that she's involved with a really terrible man, and that, you know, she doesn't get that her choice to stay with him is a primary reason why people want nothing to do with her. I honestly feel like if Janelle got rid of David, things would be totally different. My guess. She was like on fire this week. She was on all these different channels, like all these different media outlets. Like she was doing so much promotion for this podcast called Girl Stuff. That's the nice word for it. And she was on like Us Weekly, In Touch, all the rags, E! News, probably Entertainment Tonight, talking about how she was going to be launching this podcast. It was supposed to be like a group of collaborative influencers. She said that she was a co-producer and that it was going to be about all girl-related things, female empowerment, parenting, talking about stuff, girl stuff, right? And she talked about how it was going to be this huge brand. Like she was going to do merch and a podcast and a YouTube channel. Like it was going to be this whole thing that they were going to build an empire on. And she seemed like really excited about it. And she had snagged up some people to join this. She grabbed Deavan Clegg from 90 Day Fiance and then a bunch of other like people you probably have never heard of. You've maybe heard of some of them. I'm not going to name them all off, but it was like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram bloggers, basically. And they started doing promotional stuff for the podcast. They do a bunch of media blitzes, and they do a giveaway, which is going to be for their launch party. And the podcast was supposed to launch today, and they had a launch party last night. Well, basically what happens is Janelle effectively finds out last night that she's fired from the podcast, a podcast that she had been in the media claiming to be a co-producer on and the founder of the podcast. So, and she also claimed to be so heavily involved, she was like picking influencers to be a part of this. So the podcast ends up posting on their Instagram after doing this huge giveaway and saying like, we're giving away things to come to this event. The event was supposed to be happening, I think, in like Nashville, and they were going to have like a whole event where they'd have drinks and food and dancing. And they posted this on their Instagram. Due to unforeseen circumstances, Janelle Evans will not be attending tonight. We still welcome you and your +1 to come and enjoy yourselves with the cast. And the cast was sharing photos all over the place. Now, Janelle did go to the party, but she was just not allowed into the VIP area, so she only stopped by. But when she did stop by, or shortly before she stopped by, she found out that they were letting her go, and it was confusing for a lot of people about what happened. So then she went onto her TikTok and basically said that cancel culture caused her to lose her gig.
You know, the cancel culture that's basically why. So yeah, I'm gonna sip this drink. Amount anymore, but You guys enjoy yourself at the party. I hope you're having a great time because you're not even talking to each other.
Then after the TikToks, she made some snarky comments to the cast. And then in the comments on her TikTok, she basically told people not to bother with the podcast because she was moving on. She was adamant she wasn't fired. She couldn't be fired because she was the producer, blah, 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 blah. Then this morning, she wakes up and does another Instagram where she basically talks about how there was a rumor going around that Deavan Clegg from 90 Day Fiance had her fired after learning about the past that she was involved in. Now, here's the thing, you guys. Anyone that gets involved with Janelle, Google is your friend. This is just my tip. If you are about to get involved with a woman named Janelle Easton or Janelle Evans, just Google, put in David's name, and then make your decision. Don't make a decision blindly based on her person, because this woman comes with so much baggage. Literally, everyone hates her, and if you get attached to her, she's gonna take down your project. And whether you like Janelle or not, just that's where social media is at with her. They don't like her, she's canceled, she's done. They don't like David, they don't like what David did to the dog, and when the cancel train comes and you're not on the right side of it, there's nothing that she can do. And she continues to make bad choices, so it really doesn't help. So anyways, she ends up posting this thing on Instagram and says, like, trying to clear up these rumors about Deavan, basically because I think John Yates or someone said that Deavan went to producers and had her fired.
There's a lot of rumors I woke up to saying that Deavan got me fired from this thing when I'm her producer, and I actually hand chose Deavan to join the cast. So with that being said, I am not fired, and we don't know what's going to be happening with the podcast right now. But I do know as soon as I get home, I have all the equipment to set up mine. So we'll get up and going because I know you guys want to hear from me. And thanks for your support, and I love you guys. You'll hear from me soon. Maybe this will be a YouTube video. We'll see. But I do want to point out, I think it's pretty person to try to hold something against someone that happened years ago, like we talk about all the time, to ruin their opportunities in life.
And then she says that that's not true, but that people were holding things over her head that happened years ago. And I'm guessing the years ago has to be the stuff to do with Nugget, because really there's nothing more horrific in her past than what happened to Nugget, or some of the stuff that's happened between David and the kids, or maybe David and her. But really the Nugget incident is by far the most, it's what got her fired from Teen Mom. It's what got her to lose a bunch of sponsorships. It's got her to lose literally anything that she's tried to do since then. And she's like saying that people won't let it go. Well, they've never really taken proper accountability for it, and they've basically dismissed it like this is what you do in the country. So then she basically says that she's going to make a video about it or something. I don't care, whatever. So then one of her castmates, her name is Gabby, she's got this channel on TikTok, or she's got a TikToker page. She effectively says that Janelle was let go, and she felt really bad because she met Janelle and she thought Janelle was really nice.
I'm kind of overwhelmed. Yeah, after Janelle got fired, and she wasn't allowed into the venue, which, you know, whatever. I did go talk to her. I was trying to talk to David too, but like I got pushed back into the room. So it's just a lot. Like, I have no idea what's going on. I get that she's controversial and she has a bad past. I get that. I did not do all my research on her before. However, she was very nice to me. David was very nice to me. And I really do feel bad in this situation. I feel horrible about it.
And she said David was nice. She clearly doesn't know enough about them. But Gabby then does the TikTok, and then she speaks to the son, and this is what she said to the son. She said, Janelle was let go because of her past, which includes her husband, David, admitting to the stuff with the dog and snapping at Ensley. Gabby said this, I was told Janelle was let being let go from the production because of new information that was discovered about her past, and a lot of the cast were uncomfortable working with her. Of course they are. David's a monster. I would be too. And he's always around, and he's always looming around, and he's always like on her shoulder. He's gross. Anyways, since posting with Janelle, a lot of us have lost followers, received a lot of hate for being associated with her. And from what I know, Janelle is no longer associated with the podcast. So I can totally see that. Anyone that's going to attach themselves to Janelle right now is going to go down. Nobody's going to want to be associated with it. And if your whole life is on social media and it's determined on how many followers you have, of course you're going to step out. It's just, y'all need to do your due diligence before you decide on who you're going to get involved with. And these producers that continue to not look at her past and think, they gamble on it and they say, well, this time it'll work. I doubt it. Anyway, she said, Janelle was a part of the cast. She did help with finding cast members and help run the show, but she was one of the main girls who personally reached out to me to be part of this project. But she said that all of the women on the show actually work for a separate producer, not her. So she said this. She showed up at the event at the launch party, but she wasn't allowed into the VIP area with the other girls from the podcast. And she said, I really liked Janelle and David in person. They were very nice to me. This whole thing makes me really sad. And Janelle obviously blamed cancel culture. The Sun then reached out to Deavan Clegg to get her side of the story, and it turns out that Deavan actually did speak to producers because Deavan claims that she found out that Janelle had been involved in a CPS case that involved DV and related to the children, and she said that based on her own history with Jehoon, she wanted nothing to do with that. It was against everything that she was and everything that she claimed to be, and she didn't want to be a part of any projects that had any connection to David or to Janelle. Deavan also asserted when she spoke to The Sun that Janelle was not her producer, she was not hired by Janelle, and that this idea that Janelle ran it was not true. She said, yes, Janelle asked me to be a part of it and jump on a Zoom call and told me about this big project that people were working on, but Janelle did not own the project. So in a way, yes, Deavan got Janelle fired. I had a mix of comments flooding in during this whole thing because I was trying to keep track of everything that happened, and a lot of you were like, good, I hate her, she's the worst. And then some of you were actually like sympathetic and like, how are you going to allow this girl to like move forward and actually do better and earn an income for her family and do something that will allow and provide for her kids? And a bunch of you brought up statistics about women that are involved in DV and how many times it takes for them to leave, and trying to be compassionate and empathetic to her and really say like, let her do better, let her do her thing. And then others of you are just like, I don't want to watch anything that she's a part of. I will never support her. This is horrible. So I don't know how Janelle, who relies on social media and really doesn't want to get a job outside of the world that she has created through her Teen Mom platform, I don't know how she can provide for herself if she can't keep working and collaborations, and she can't keep sponsorships. At some point, you have to realize like everything is stacked against you, and you might need to just take a break and go away for a while. But then you are almost like, well, then how does she afford the kids? How does she pay for them? How does she earn money? David doesn't work. He's like a loser. I don't like Janelle, but I sometimes do feel bad that everything she gets involved in ends up going bust, and it's really sad that sometimes these cancel trains can be so vicious like this. And again, I'm not a fan of hers, but I also think that you have to allow Janelle an opportunity to do something, or you don't, or else Janelle just needs to go away. But she doesn't seem to want to go away, and the people that don't like her are not going to stop interfering in her work. And a lot of people don't like that people are continually interfering in her work. And I'm just sort of at this point where I'm like in the middle. I totally saw this coming. I think it's unfortunate that people got involved in this and got indirect hate. But again, note to self and to the producers, please know who you're getting yourself involved in and don't get involved with her, because this is what happens. And the producer basically said that he thought he was trying to turn a lemon into something good, but he didn't. So I guess the podcast is the producer's lemon. That's all I've got for now, guys. Tell me what your thoughts are on this confusing story below. Bye, guys.